G'day there guys, unfortunately it's Marky here again, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good stories. If you do, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. And with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn of the Barbie. Let's get right into it. Posted by user oddbug329, titled, I cheated on my wife and now she's cheating on me. So yeah, I know I messed up. I, 32 male, cheated on my wife, 29 female, 3 years ago. We've been married for 5 years, and the second year of our marriage, I cheated on her in a drunken fling. She forgave me, and we went to marriage counseling. But 3 days ago, while my wife was in the shower, I went through her phone and found the texts confirming that she was cheating. I felt so betrayed, I confronted her after she got out of the shower. She claims that it's okay because I cheated on her and I set the precedent for allowing infidelity. I told her that my cheating was a one-time drunken thing and that I haven't done anything since. I also told her that I don't know the girl and that she now has a relationship with this guy. I don't know. She got mad and stormed off. She left for work on Friday and I haven't seen her since. I know she's with him and it hurts. I feel I deserve this, but at the same time, I want my wife back. What do I do? In the comments, Both Injury says, the relationship was over the minute that you cheated. And OP replies, but why would she stay? Why would she forgive me only to do this? I've done nothing but love her. Yeah, like when you cheated on her. And OP says, she forgave me. I really feel bad, but also at the same time, it wasn't really my fault. It was the alcohol. She has no excuse. If she loved you, she wouldn't have left you. You get that she's gone, right? Like, not coming back. And also, your friends or alcohol do not control your actions. The only person who does that is you. So if you want further relationships to work out and not lose another wife later in life, learn one thing: how to take personal responsibility for your own actions. You cheated, and now she cheated, but the big difference is she has a million options with the rest of her dating life, and you don't. So maybe act like an effing grown-up about it, and stop acting like you were the victim in all of this. OP replies, I get that I have some blame, but after I've cheated, I've been the best husband. I quit drinking for her, I don't go to parties for her. I don't deserve this though. OP, this marriage is dead, so you divorce. Oh no, not at all. First, kids will solve their problems. The extra stress and sleepless nights will allow them to refocus on their love. Second, they can open their relationship and engage in ethical non-monogamy simply by being honest with each other. Third, I don't have a third. Everything is looking rosy for this lovely couple. This is not serious in any way. They should divorce. 1. Clearly she didn't forgive you. And 2. You were 29 years old and cheated on your wife, not 18 years old getting drunk for the first time at college. You aren't listening to people here. It's not hard to imagine that you don't listen to your wife in person. That doesn't excuse her cheating, of course, but goddamn, OP. If you and your wife decided to try and repair your marriage, it will require work. But it honestly sounds like you have some growing up to do before you're ready for marriage. Back up to the post, OP provides an update that's more of an edit. Okay, so a small portion of you were kind and understanding and actually gave good advice, but the rest of you are so rude. So I finally managed to get a hold of her, and she basically told me that it's over and that she no longer loves me. I managed to track her location and find out who the person she's cheating on me with is, and Dave, if you read this, screw you. I honestly can't wait to get divorced now. OP, you don't sound like the brightest banana in the bunch, but hey, I don't understand how you being upset about your wife cheating on you after you cheated makes any sense. From your own words, it doesn't exactly sound like you did anything to win her love and trust back. And yeah, to me, it doesn't make any sense as to why she stayed and why she forgave you. In all honesty, it kind of just sounds like you guys opened up the relationship and now you're sad because she has someone that she's with. But that's not a typical open relationship dynamic. I think that you're just insane. That's my genuine assessment, and my advice is that you should get divorced like everyone else is saying. And now, on to the update. So my 32 male, wife, 29 female, hasn't come home since the day I confronted her, so I went to her HR team today with proof that she was cheating with Dave. According to some close friends who work with her, HR pulled her aside after I left. She came out crying, and when Dave tried to talk to her, she pushed him aside and left for the day. This brings me so much joy. I have to have respect for myself because that guy who cheated 3 years ago doesn't exist anymore. I've quit drinking, got into great shape, and haven't felt better. Obviously, the last week has been tough, but knowing that hers is about to get so much worse brings a smile to my face. Also, she's going to be getting served sometime this week. I wish I could be there to see her face. Also, it's a bonus if Dave and her break it off. In the comments, Creamiery says, was it really necessary to get her work involved and talk to HR when it's a personal issue outside of work? I feel like you posted this to make yourself feel better, just like how you told on her to make yourself feel powerful. I'm glad you have respect for yourself now, but unfortunately, you have no one to blame for this situation except yourself. Getting revenge on her doesn't change anything. Hopefully you don't cheat on your next partner. And OP replies, well, the revenge worked because I got her transferred to a new building. She's working in the same job, but in a new place without Dave. Also, yeah, I'm blaming her. If she didn't love me, why forgive me? If she didn't want to stay, why stay? She deserves all of what's coming to her. Yes, in 3 years, you have grown into an even bigger asshole. After all, if you're not happy, no one will be. That is why you cheated, that is why you never saw the signs of her pulling away, and that's why you will try to destroy her for doing what you did to her. So yeah, you're an incredible and nice guy. Yeah, I'm shocked he thinks that he's the nice guy when he was the one who cheated. He thinks that pouring thousands of dollars will undo what he did. I hope his wife and Dave live a happy life. OP says, until this divorce is over, their life will be hell. Hell, I'm glad she cheated on you now. So you cheated on your wife and now you're upset that she did what you did, only harsher or better. I don't know. Either way, this is your karma. Next time, don't cheat. 'Cause the next chick is gonna do you even dirtier than what your wife did. This should be a lesson, but I don't think you're getting it. I wish your wife wins the divorce and she and Dave live a happy life while you stay in your misery. Seriously, dude, you were the one who cheated on her. You probably have narcissistic personality disorder because you didn't feel guilty while cheating on her. But now she's giving you the taste of your own medicine, and you can't handle that. You broke her first, and now she is breaking you. There is a difference between you cheating and her cheating. You cheated on an innocent person, she cheated on a cheater. And now you want revenge. I hope it fails for you, and she gets half of what you own. I'm rooting for your wife. You're not a better person than you were 3 years ago. You are now much worse. I usually do not take a cheater's side, but I'm taking her side because she's a victim. And now onto update 2. So those who saw my last post know what's up, and you can read it if you don't, but since the last update, my soon-to-be ex-wife lost her job, lost her boy toy, and lost a lot of friends. She showed up yesterday asking to talk, which I laughed in her face and shut the door. I know a lot of you think me a monster and a terrible guy, but I don't care what you think. Her world is collapsing, and all I can do is laugh. She earned and deserves all of it. I know I cheated 3 years ago, but she forgave me, and I had to learn to love myself again. She had a full-blown affair for months on end, and she flat out told me that she doesn't love me. I was willing to forgive her at first, but now after everything, no, I can't forgive her. I have too much respect for myself. In the comments, a deleted commenter says, you cheated on your wife and got caught. The next time you'll be better at hiding the affair. She cheated on you and you were going to forgive her? Bullshit. You're keeping score and you think that you have the moral high ground even though you are also a cheater. She should have dumped you when you cheated. Nobody ever forgets being cheated on, so you both delayed the inevitable. I'm not saying that you can't be a better person, but thinking that you are now a better person because a few years have passed? My unsolicited advice to you is to spend some time being single and focus on being a better person. Instead of satisfying yourself, find ways to make other people's lives better, help people. And no, you sleeping with anyone will not make their life better. OP replies, "Lol, dude, I haven't had a drop of alcohol since I cheated 3 years ago. Since then, I've been a completely different person." Lol? You cheated and you were the victim who had to learn to love yourself again? Okay. People who respect themselves and others don't take joy in seeing the people they love's world collapse or laugh about it. Only hateful people with no respect or regard for other people's feelings do that. Right, lol? This guy thinks he's the victim here, and it's pathetic. He claims he's a better person than he was 3 years ago, but let's be honest here, that's a load of BS. OP says, "Lol, I very much have improved. Why would she lose friends if she was so good? Why would she cheat when at her job they don't allow it, especially with someone in the office? Why is she losing family support? Why did she lose Dave? I cheated, yes, but she forgave me, and I've done a complete 180 from the day that I cheated. And how does she repay me for the years of change and love and support and the tens of thousands of dollars I spent on her? She has an affair that's lasted months. I cheated once and have already paid for it, and now it's her turn." Since Miller Street replies to that, "This is a woman you loved, or maybe loved, quote unquote. You've been in her shoes before, yet now that she's the one trying to talk to you about it, you've laughed in her face and shut the door on her? You're also getting joy from watching her world collapse. Are you sure that you did a complete 180? It sounds to me like you did a 360, since you're still a self-absorbed guy with an overinflated ego who is getting immense pleasure by causing her pain. Except this time, you aren't doing it by cheating because you found a new method. Seriously, is there anything underneath all this shit? If you are actually just really hurt, sad, massively betrayed, and stuck in a messy grieving process because after you were the one who cheated, you stood up, took true accountability, apologized, and showed her you were sincere about it by getting sober, being honest, faithful, loyal, and loving so you could prove to her that you could be a better man, if that's the case, it's easier to understand. On the other hand, if this post is a true portrayal of yourself and how much hatred and vindictiveness you hold in your heart, then I can't get behind that because I think it's effed up. And now onto update 3. So, I effed up. I just got a call from my lawyer, and my wife found my Reddit posts with help from who I thought was a friend. My ex-friend recorded me while I was telling him about the Reddit posts. My lawyer told me that she's wanting half of everything. I don't understand how or why my friend did this, but here we are. I feel like I've been stabbed in the back twice. First from my wife, and now him. I don't know what will happen, but now I feel less confident about my divorce. I still feel like I can win though, and my lawyer says that we still stand a really good chance. Edit. I called my friend and asked him why he recorded me, and he told me that he respects women and was upset at how I was treating my wife. He told me until I go to therapy again and get some help, he doesn't want to be friends with me because I'm not the same person he became friends with. I don't know what to think anymore. In the comments, Perfect Breakfast 73 says, "How much of her getting half of everything would screw you over? Percentage-wise, how much of it should morally be yours?" And OP says, "Like all of my stuff, and I should get like 30% of hers." Shut up, OP. What are you talking about? Wait, how did she stab you in the back if you cheated first? Am I missing something? And OP says, "I cheated once, years ago, and confessed immediately. She was having an affair for months." Bro, imagine sucking so bad that your friend would rather help your cheating wife over you. Did he know that you cheated prior? OP says, "Yeah, he did. He's been a really good friend for years. I don't understand what happened and why he betrayed me like this." Probably because he doesn't like cheaters? Then why was he friends with me? He probably liked different aspects of you, but you gloating about your actions to random strangers probably just did him in. Veloxiraptor says, you feel betrayed? Huh, maybe think about that the next time you have a one-time drunken fling. I hope she sees this post too and takes everything she can just for your comments here alone. OP says, wow, I messed up once, but it's okay for her to mess up hundreds of times and lie behind my back? Yeah, you should have forgave her like she forgave you. I hope you're sad and miserable. You deserve it for what you did to that poor woman. OP says, I was willing to forgive her, but she doesn't want to be forgiven. Also, what did I do to that poor woman? It's a good question, OP. Don't know what you did to that poor woman, really. All these essays you're writing really has convinced me that you've done nothing wrong here, dude. You're just... You're such a good person. I can't get over that. I need 100% of my stuff and 30% of hers. Can you back it up with some receipts, please, OP? I'm trying to believe you here. I'm trying my best to be on your side, but it's not working. And now onto the final update, titled, My Ex-Wife Got the House. So the last few months have not gone well for me. Ever since my friend betrayed me, everything has gone downhill. I basically owe my wife half of everything. Because I got my wife fired, and because I posted everything on Reddit, the judge ruled that I had essentially ruined her reputation, so she got the house because it's paid off, and she has nowhere else to live. My lawyer tried to get the judge to rule for us to sell the house, but the judge won't budge. My lawyer says that I should try to sue my friend for defamation because my wife now has my posts and has been sending my Reddit posts to all of my friends and family. Basically, everyone has distanced themselves from me. I don't know if I'd win that lawsuit because they have proof that I did post it. I don't know what to do from here, but I think I have a lot of self-reflecting to do. Oh, also, a lot of you are right that my friend has started to hook up with my ex-wife, so there's that. I'll let you guys know if I want to go through with suing my friend, but as of right now, that's all I've got to update you guys with. In the comments, Wielder of Aphorism says, as my mother says, you did this to yourself. Do better in the future. And OP replies, I don't feel like I did this to myself though. I feel like I was the one that was wronged. I know now though that I need to work more on myself, but I don't know how because I thought I already did. Remember when you laughed in her face and slammed the door when she asked to talk? I bet you're regretting that now, aren't you? And OP says, I regret cheating the first time. There was no love in it, and I don't even remember who she was. I regret not divorcing sooner. I regret showing my friend my posts. I also regret going to therapy with her, like, what a waste of time and money. The professional victim game is strong with this one. And OP says, why does everyone see my wife as the victim? Explain to me why it's okay for her to waste my time, money, and love on her, and it's okay for her to have an affair. I know I cheated, but she forgave. I'm honestly trying to understand why it gives her the right to screw me over. AMW says, it's not defamation if it's true and he has you on a recording. Just move on. You cheated, so she cheated, and then you admitted out loud on a recording that you purposely got her fired because you were being petty. I would have told on your ass too. I get that you're hurt, but damn, you ruined her career and then bragged about it. These are the repercussions of those actions. What did you really think would happen? Edit. Also, why would you expect her to get over it when you clearly haven't gotten over it? Lol? This guy takes total lack of self-awareness, throws it in with his cheating and other bad habits, rolls around in the resulting shit pile, and somehow thinks that he has been wronged. There are doctors and medications for this level of delusion. I cheated on my wife, and then she cheated on me, but her cheating was worse because she had a full-blown affair. Also, my cheating doesn't count because she forgave me. It also doesn't count because the man that I was 3 years ago no longer exists. I cannot be held responsible for the actions of the man that I was because I lost weight? Honestly, the self-insight, it's just mind-boggling. Sarcasm. I don't know what to say about that one besides what an entertaining read, OP. Thank you so much for that. I hope your delusion carries you far and wide into the world that you're going to get into post-divorce. Very much best of luck to you, OP. It's a situation where it's like, you are beyond help. There is no salvaging you. I think we just need to remove your brain and put someone else's in there because yours is defective, mate. Don't know what to tell ya. Glad things are going well for your ex-wife. I know that her cheating is like, yeah, it's not acceptable, but like, why did you guys stay together? I feel like you were pretty much divorced when you cheated and she stayed with you. She was kind of just waiting for a reason to leave, and now she's found it. I think you guys should just leave it at that, honestly. Seems like you're in a very much checkmate situation with no way out, so have fun with that one. Our next post is by user Where's My Room, titled, I've, female 25, returned from a month-long trip, and my roommate, female 22, has moved all her things into my room and has been living there with no intention of switching back. Hi there. I'm writing this in a throwaway because, to be honest, I never thought that I need to post here, but what can you do? So I moved into this flat about 8 months ago. I met Lana online on a roommate website, and we clicked well. She's a bit younger, but seemed mature. We quickly agreed to be roommates. Both of us were under time constraints to find a place to live, but have got on really well so far, up until this. Our flat is a 2-bedroom, and to be frank, my room is clearly the better one. It's bigger and has built-in wardrobes. When looking for the flat, I found the place first on my own and put down a deposit to take it off the market while I found another roommate. The flat was perfect. Cheap rent, and my aunt manages the property, so I was keen to snap it up before anyone else did. The area that it's in is popular, so I wasn't really worried about not finding someone to room with. Because of the above, and that I was there first, I took the bigger room, naturally. When showing potential roommates, including Lana, around, I was sure to show the smaller room and say, this would be your room. We moved in 8 months ago, and it's been happy families. Never heard Lana complain about her room. And because I have about 6 times the wardrobe space that she does, I told her that she's welcome to store her off-season clothes in there, or whatever she wants to store, as long as she's not popping in every morning to get dressed. She was happy with this. Just over a month ago, I went traveling. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of having people in my room, but I told Lana that if she has someone stay, like her sister or friends from home, they could sleep in my bed. She said thanks, and as she's been such a great roommate and rarely has guests except her boyfriend, I didn't worry at all. I came back yesterday. I was exhausted from flight and traveling and just wanted to shower and sleep. As I walked in, Lana was in the living room with her boyfriend. We said hello and hugged, had a very quick catch-up and blah blah. Then I dragged my suitcase to my room, opened the door, and found it full of stuff that was not mine. I kinda yelled, "What the fuck?" and briefly thought that I was so jet-lagged that I was confused, but opened the door to Lana's room and saw all of my stuff. I walked into the living room and asked Lana what was going on, and she said, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, we put my stuff in your room because it's bigger, and you weren't here, and you said that I could use it." I was honestly so tired I could have passed out then and there, so I probably wasn't in the best state, and told her to move it all back immediately. She said they were in the middle of making dinner, and I looked tired, so I should have a sleep. Her boyfriend then said, "And anyway, you pay the same rent, so isn't it fair that you both get the big room at some point?" I was getting really frustrated and could feel tears welling up. I was hysterical from lack of sleep, so I just said, "We'll deal with this tomorrow, and it's getting moved back." And then I went to sleep in not my room. I've woken up now, and I'm so pissed off. Lana's at work, so I can't talk to her, but what should I do when she's home? I feel like this is going to turn into an argument. I don't think it'll be as simple as, "Okay, let's swap now that you're home." In the comments, someone asks, "Does Tom have a set of keys to the flat?" And OP says, "There's only 2 keys to the flat, mine and Lana's. I gave mine to my mum while I was away in case she had needed to pop in for me, but she never did. Lana has one, and she says she didn't give it to Tom at any point. She just buzzed him in. I'm going to speak to my aunt and see what she reckons about changing the locks. I need to verify it with her beforehand anyway. I don't see that there is any way that Tom could have a copy, but you never know. Is the roommate's name on the lease? OP says, her name is on the contract, equal to mine. The deposit that I paid was a holding fee to take the property off the market, which was later deducted from my half of the actual deposit, so she doesn't owe me any money. I'm hoping the boyfriend will not be round when she comes home. She's been a reasonable person for the 7 months prior to this, so I can't help but think that he's influenced her a bit. I'm very curious to know how much he's been staying over. Another commenter asks if the lease has a limit on guests. And OP says, he is 100% not moving in after school. Not a hope in hell. I advertised for one roommate. I wrote, no couples in capital letters on the ad. It is not happening. Our lease has a guest clause. Something like no longer than 3 weeks over a 3-month period. I'm not sure. I need to look at it. It's likely that both of our boyfriends have stayed longer than that over the 8 months, and the landlord has never had an issue with them. If he starts staying every night, I will be bringing this up though. Shepuddle says, she moved your things out when you weren't there. You're off work now. Just swap things back straight away. Start with stripping the beds and change the linen over. I wouldn't leave it till tomorrow. It normalizes the situation. If she comes home whilst you're in the middle of it, just keep going or ask her to help you. Her boyfriend should keep out of it. I assume he's lived there full time over the last month, and he's seeing it as their flat now. OP says, yep, this is my worry. I still paid rent for this month that I was away, so I have every right to return to the same flat as I left. It's really crappy that you have to do this, but I think you should make your space completely off limits in the future. It is really strange of her to just move everything into your room, no matter how long you were gone. No normal person should do this. Move your stuff back. This isn't even a discussion. You found the place. You made it clear the smaller room was hers. Put a lock on the door and say that this isn't a discussion. It sucks that she screwed herself over, but that's her problem, not yours. Edit. Also, if the boyfriend has been staying over all this time, nip that shit in the bud. You signed up for 1 housemate, not 2. If he cares so much, then he can go rent a place with her. Extra edits, be upfront and tell her in the future that she needs to A, ask because you didn't give her permission to your room, and B, if she wasn't happy with the deal, she should have said something or not rented this place. Not this weird passive-aggressively show of dominance. Also, have the discussion without him there, as he'll obviously side with her, and you'll feel ganged up on, making you more likely to crack. Also, he doesn't live there. He's your guest as well as hers, so it's none of his damned business. This story to me is very much reminiscent of that one story that we covered in the past, where it was a rental in a college dorm room with all women, and yet one of the women, out of 3, moved her boyfriend/husband into the place, who she didn't tell her parents that she was married or with this guy, then passive-aggressively forced the rest of the roommates that she had been living with, including the OP in that situation, to just accept that the husband was living there, even though he's a goddamn creep. It's crazy how many women will abuse the imbalanced power dynamic of having a man in their living situations to force an unfair kind of trade that the other person they're screwing over obviously cannot fight at the time. Yeah, I'm gonna screw you over here, and here's my boyfriend who's much bigger and stronger than you, who's also going to defend me tooth and nail and physically aggress you. That's gonna make me seem like the good guy here. That's gonna make you agree with me even more, because you'll see that I have a great point. I'm completely on board with you talking it out in this situation, OP, but she's come from a very much bad faith position to begin with. I don't know how much talking it out can really solve this situation. For me, it would be a deal breaker, and especially since your auntie is the one managing the property, you can use your advantage against her stupid advantage of having a man there to get her evicted. I feel like she more than deserves it here. Back to the post, we have an edit. I've taken the advice of most people on this thread and moved my stuff back. It's taken hours and I'm knackered, but I think if I left it another night, it would be a real problem. I sent her a text when I was almost done, in case she kicked up a shitstorm and came home, to say, "Hi, Lana. Hope you're having a nice day at work. Just to let you know, I'm moving my stuff back into my room. Didn't want you coming home and walking into the wrong one." Smiley face. Yes, I'm petty. I'll be talking to her when she gets in because this is out of character for her, to the point of it being bizarre. She's never been anything but a model roommate, so I'm gonna give her a chance before we're donezo. If she wants to be reasonable and have a chat about rent portions, I'm happy to do that. She's never had a problem with rent before, and honestly, I've never had uneven rent amounts in any place that I've ever lived, whether I had a bigger room or a smaller one, but a lot of people here are saying that it's the norm, so I'm open to talking about it if she's not ridiculous. Edit 2, Lana should be home in a bit. I'll update when I can. Edit 3, hi everyone. I've got about 1 million messages asking for an update, but last night was a bit mad and I'm still pretty jet lagged, so sorry, but I went to sleep. Anyways, here we go. So as you know, I texted Lana to tell her that I moved my stuff back. She didn't reply to me. Fine, whatever, but she didn't kick off, so I figured we were okay. I told my aunt what had happened, who was as baffled as all of you, and I told her that it was probably all sorted, but just keeping her in the loop. I also told my boyfriend, who works about 5 minutes down the road. He offered to come round, in case Lana's boyfriend came round, but I told him not to because then we're ganging up on Lana. He insisted on going for a coffee, quote-unquote, with his mate a couple roads away in case we needed backup, which is a bit ridiculous, but very cute of him. God, I love Aussie vernacular, this is great. So I did get myself a glass of wine while waiting for Lana, not because I was nervous, I just like wine, and she came home. I was sat in the living room and gave her a very cold hi when she walked in. She sort of froze, bag in hand, and her eyes darted between me/not her/our bedroom door. She blurted out, "Did you do it?" And I said, "What, move the rooms back?" "Yeah, of course." And her eyes went all wide and she dropped her bag and ran into the bathroom. I could hear her talking on the phone, so I was like, "Yippee! I guess Tom's coming round. Fun!" I heard the door unlock, and I was about to go full Hulk on how psycho she is, when she came out of the door and stood between our bedrooms. Their doors are adjacent, and she just stared between them both, breathing heavily. It was really odd. Then I noticed that she was crying and getting a bit panicky, so I asked what was going on. She burst into tears and said, "Oh my god, he's going to kill me," and just sobbed. So yeah, it was the boyfriend's idea completely, as a lot of us suspected. She's honestly always been a perfect roommate, which is kinda why I came to this sub. If she was, generally an asshole, I would've known how to act, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Lana has a bit of a breakdown, and it turns out piece of shit Tom has always been a bit of a piece of shit. Very jealous, which I always saw hints of, but Lana never mentioned, so I didn't, and has amped up his piece of shitness while I've been away. When I left, he just finished school and basically moved in unannounced, and when she'd mentioned he hasn't been home in days, he'd give her the, "What, don't you love me? I treat you so well. You're so selfish, blah blah shit," and refused to move. She showed me the text that he sent her. Absolutely horrific stuff. Things like, "Ring me in the next 5 minutes or we're over. Send me a picture of you at your desk with something showing today's date so I know you're at work." Just abusive stuff. On to the room. As we guessed, he moved it. He did it while she was at work, which is actually a bit gross thinking of him going through my stuff, and I'm considering somehow implying that I have crabs or something he could catch just to make him squirm a bit. But I'll work on it. Lana came home and said, "What are you doing?" He made out that it was just temporary and that I wouldn't mind. Such a gentleman for speaking on my behalf. and he would move it back, and he was doing it for her, and she was so selfish, etc. When it got to a few days before I came back, Lana suggested moving it back, and he completely denied that he said that, and told her that it was her idea to move it, and he only did what she told him, but now it's staying, or she would be sorry. So basically, Tom's a prick, and Lana sobbed and apologized and cried, and I fed her wine. She didn't want to see Tom, who obviously assumed he lived there now, so I texted him from her phone saying our landlady, my aunt, was coming round for an inspection and staying for dinner after with my family, and he couldn't come over tonight. He sent a lot of begging, whiny texts, and then went on the offensive and called Lana a liar. So I rang my aunt, explained everything, and had her write us a fake landlord email mentioning the visits and how she was looking forward to fajitas, because she's an absolute babe and I make good packet fajitas, which we forwarded on to Tom. He left her alone for the rest of the night, apart from a few texts. I'm not entirely sure what we do about Tom. Lana sounds like she wants to break up, judging from her crying and screaming, "I hate him! I hate him! I hate him!" into her whine. I think she's scared to, though. I checked in with her and he doesn't have a key, so that's a relief. I told my aunt everything and she said she's happy to ban him from the flat, but Lana would need to break up with him first and get all that sorted. Thanks everyone for the advice. I know it wasn't the most popcorny update, but hopefully Lana will be okay, and we're going to be doing some girly shit this week and avoiding Tom, and yeah, God knows what'll happen. And now, on to the update. Hi everyone, it's been a busy month since my last post, and I logged back into this account out of curiosity, and I saw quite a few people messaged me requesting an update. So here we are. Sorry it took so long, but things have calmed down now. So shortly after my last post, Lana broke up with Tom. She was quite scared to do it because he's a psycho, and it took 2 weeks between my last post and the actual breakup. During that time, she didn't let him come round to see her. Luckily, she remembered that Tom had never had chickenpox as a kid, so we pretended my nephew had caught chickenpox and had to stay with us because my brother's wife had never had it also and couldn't risk getting shingles. It worked, luckily, and he stayed away. She told her family and close friends about what he'd been like in case he contacted them to get in touch with her and lied about what had happened, and then texted him saying she wanted to break up. Well, he blew the F up, called her every name under the sun, switched back to apologizing and saying she was the love of his life, then she'd never find someone like him, then he would die without her, then he wanted to kill her, then they were soulmates. It was insane. He started messaging me too, telling me that I was an evil beer who had ruined his perfect wife. Lol, okay then. And as predicted, her family and friends got messages too. We both turned our phones off to ignore it and just watched TV. Later, I briefly switched mine on, where I had a lot of messages from my friends telling me to block some guy on my social media. It was Tom, calling me every imaginative combination of the C word he could think of all over my public Instagram page. There were even a few racial slurs, which was odd because we're both white, but okay. Lana had already blocked him on everything, but silly me forgot to make my Insta private. The next day, he rang Lana's office. She was so embarrassed, it was awful, to tell her that he was driving down to our flat. She rang me, and I rang my aunt, who you remember manages the property, who told us that it was time to call the police. We filed a report about Tom, and they said to update us on the situation. In the UK, you need to go to court to actually get a restraining order, so we haven't as such, but the evidence is all there and documented if we need to go that far. The police rang Tom at our request, told him they'd seen the messages, and then told him to turn his car around, because if he turned up at our door, he would be arrested. Police officers here are amazing, can I just say. Tom managed to shit himself hard enough to not show up after that. So we were fine for a week, and then the post came. Tom started sending letters, threats and soppy I love you shit, flowers, and then a pizza that we had to pay for. We were actually hungry, so we ate it. He signed us up to a magazine subscription. It was bizarre. We went to the police again. They filed everything, but Lana didn't want to go to court. I don't blame her. She was incredibly stressed by the whole thing. So 2 weeks ago, I took my aunt and my mother out to dinner. I told them both about the situation, and my goddess of an aunt had an idea. She manages about 30 properties, not just the one that we live at, as had a few that were unoccupied now, with school finishing. She told me that she would show us around all the 2 bedrooms that she had, and we could live in any of them for the same rent that we pay now, and just transfer over our deposit and fees, as long as there were no damages to deduct, and we helped do a deep clean to get it ready for the next tenant. We found one within a 5-minute drive that's just as lovely, and, to anyone concerned about the previous rent disputes, has equally sized bedrooms. So we moved, which is why the last 2 weeks have been manic, but we're settled in now. Tom has been informed that we have moved, because the stuff he's sent since has been returned. Lana and I are completely no contact with him, and anyone who visits us is sure not to pass our address to Tom. Also, I apologized to Lana about the issue with paying the same amounts of rent. She said she had never had a problem with it, and said that's how she had always done it through uni and with other roommates. She refused to take any money from me, but I've decided that I'll be funding the weekly flat wine sessions for the future. It's been a long month, and even though my traveling tan has faded, things are great now. Thanks for all of your advice before, guys, even the ones that I didn't agree with. And let's all pray to baby Jesus that I have a calmer living situation from now on. In the comments, Aspidities87 says, "Wow, what a fantastic outcome for everyone involved. I mean, obviously trauma from Tom's idiocy and harassment, but now that F-wit is on police notice, you and Lana have a nice new flat with equal footing, and it sounds like you formed a real bond over this. Whereas your previous post was typical roommate entitlement issues combined with a shit boyfriend. It both escalated and got better. Much luck to you and Lana living in the future. You've been a great friend to her. Your aunt definitely deserves some good wine sessions too." OP says, "We're taking my aunt out for dinner next month." Tom is terrifying as hell. That man was going to escalate, and I'm so relieved and surprised, honestly, that the police actually seem to do their job. But the aunt in the story is the real MVP. Goddess of an aunt indeed. We all need a badass aunt like this. I hope to be a badass aunt like this, except I want their lives to be so phenomenal and perfect that they never need me to be. I discovered just the other night that my brothers all think that I'm this type of badass sister. We're all in our 30s, but I'm the only one with children so far. I was chuckling and confused as to why my brother's partners had all confessed that they were most nervous about meeting me out of our whole family. They were even less nervous about meeting our mother. As it turns out, my brothers all portray Big Sister Wonder Wife as the family gatekeeper and their protector. My brothers all being these 6-foot-plus tall, burly, bearded men, and I'm 5'3" when I'm wearing my shoes. None of them have ever said as much to me, but apparently they've been telling people for years that I am the one who would burn the world down for them. They're not wrong. It was just a strange moment to hear them say out loud that they recognize who I am. My brothers are not the most loquacious, lol. The Kitten Patrol says, "How many of us called that it was Lana's boyfriend before hitting update 3? So glad that she had the support to get away from him. And honestly, I'm glad he decided to switch rooms like that, because otherwise the catalyst for Lana showing how terrible he was might not have come until too late for her to get away first try." Oh yeah, when OP was saying that it was out of character, bizarre behavior, and the boyfriend was magically there when shit went down, I was like, 100% the asshole boyfriend started this. And as you can tell from my comments, I lack experience because I didn't pick up on that one. Now I would like to say it would be a terrible idea to evict Lana in this situation because you are just damning her to seclusion with some abusive predator like this guy. That's an L in my books. I apologize for such a harsh and heavy-handed approach to the situation, but hey, glad this guy showed his hand, showed who he was, and OP was there to protect Lana from him, and also to protect herself. Thank God Auntie stepped in. Thank you, Auntie. Very cool. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.